y'all, today we are actually leaving to go on a weekend mini trip to Charleston, South Carolina to visit some friends, and I need to pack up all of my medical equipment because traveling when you have a chronic illness or if you have cystic fibrosis is not the easiest task. I still do it way too often than I probably should, especially back whenever me and Cameron were dating. We were long distance, so every other weekend I was packing up all of my stuff and traveling for the weekend and then coming back. It was a nightmare, but I've gotten pretty good at figuring out how to do this as easy as possible while still getting all the medications you need, bringing all the devices you need, and not forgetting any possible thing that you may need that you may not think of normally. So to see how I travel with all my cystic fibrosis medications and just the tips and tricks of the trade that I've learned, keep watching. When it comes to storing and carrying my pills, I find it easiest to keep everything in a makeup bag, a separate makeup bag. Just keep it like that. A lot of people use pill pods where basically, you know, it's the day of the week, like Monday through Friday, sometimes twice a day, little like capsules that you can put your pills in for that day for each dose, so you don't have to travel with your bottles. However, I found that those tend to empty out and just like pop open and empty out into my suitcases or purses every time. So I've stopped using those just because it ends up being more work than it's worth, in my opinion. So I actually just take all my pill bottles that I would need and put them in here. I keep everything from like my iron supplements to omeprazole. If I get a headache, I have Tylenol in here. We have allergy medicine. Also keep separate ibuprofen just in case, because you never know what's gonna happen. Keep my modulators in here. Just basically every kind of pill that I take on a daily basis, between antibiotics that I'm on, extra enzymes, stuff for nausea. I keep extra enzymes in here. I just kind of, anything that I may need that I don't even normally use, I tend to throw in here just in case. Because the last thing I want to have happen is be gone and not near my house or not near a grocery store and suddenly get a really bad lung pain or a headache or start having an allergic reaction or not be able to sleep. So I like to keep everything in here, whether if that's ibuprofen or Tylenol or Benadryl or something for nausea or something for allergies, just all different kinds of medications that could be useful. I don't necessarily I may not use them, but I'd rather have them and be safe than sorry. What I also keep in the medicine bag is my pulse ox. I tend to keep one in my purse, but I carry one in my this little makeup bag with my pills just in case, just to keep an extra one around. And then if I'm not going to be traveling with my vest, and I bring my Arabica, which is what I think I'm going to do today, then this can easily just fit in my bag. It goes for the Arabica and the Acapella. They can easily fit in here. And then it just makes storage very, very simple, and I know where every pill bottle is. When it comes to inhaled medications, I keep them in 3 separate sections depending on what kind of medication they are and what temperature they need to be stored in. With all my inhalers, I keep them in a bag like this, which is the bag that the actual air chamber comes in whenever they give it to you in the hospital. So I just keep all of my actual like inhalers in the bag with it. So I'll have my albuterol, my Advair's already connected, and my Atrovent, which is another kind of bronchodilator. So I just kind of keep those in here, which keep them, again, all together and just easily stored and very easy to pack. When it comes to nebulized medications, my life has gotten a lot easier, and this routine has changed just in the past 6 months since getting my Philips nebulizer. So it actually comes in its own little carrying case, which is it's very easy to pack with it. So in here I keep the head and the base for my nebulizer. It's already charged up, so I'm not going to need to bring the charger with me. And in here I also keep any kind of inhaled medications that don't need to be refrigerated. So I keep my hypertonic saline in here right now. I have 2 different doses. I have the 3% and the 7%, just depending on how I'm feeling that day. Because there are days where I can't handle the 7% as well. So I'll either mix the 3 and 7 together and giving me like a 5%, or I'll just do the 7% together because I can handle it most days. I'll also keep any kind of inhaled antibiotic that doesn't need to be refrigerated in here as well, because it just keeps everything together and very just easy and condensed, and I know where everything is. Now I'm sure you're wondering, how do you travel with medications that need to stay cold? Because I know a lot of people just struggle with either they'll just choose not to bring their medication with them, or they'll just carry it at room temperature and like fingers crossed hope that nothing messes up with it. However, I've started realizing that some of my medications, they can be at room temperature for just a couple hours before they start like losing their potency. So what I found the most convenient and most useful is just to bring a small cooler with you. So this is the cooler that I use to bring my like inhaled medications that need to stay cold, or Marinol, or other medications that have to stay cold, whether if it's insulin, anything like that. Not IVs. This is not big enough to hold my IVs at all because it's very small, especially considering it's got like thick walls, so the actual how much it holds is not very much. So that would have to be a whole other plan on figuring out how to transport IVs and keeping them cold. When you do home IVs, or if you get home delivery for different medications that have to stay cold like Pulmazine, then you will get a plethora of ice packs. I have so many in my freezer that it's ridiculous, but they come in handy whenever I'm needing to travel. So I'll just throw a couple ice packs in the bottom of the cooler, like so. The only 2 medications that I'm on right now that need to stay cold that I'll need this weekend is my Pulmazine, so I'm just going to throw that in the cooler as well, and my Marinol for my appetite, and I'll throw that in there as well. I may choose before we leave to throw another ice pack on top, but I haven't decided just yet. When it comes to my sinus rinse stuff, I actually tend to keep those in a completely separate place than the rest of my medications. When it comes to my sinus rinse bottle, budesonide, and salt rinse packets, I actually put those in my actual makeup bag where I keep all my toiletries and makeup remover, face wash, makeup, that kind of stuff, because this is the stuff that's actually going to be going to the bathroom for where we're staying. My other bag full of pills will not actually go to the bathroom. I'll just keep it with me in the bedroom and get the pills out before bed or before I eat breakfast. But here, this bag will be going into the bathroom, which is where I need to rinse my nose out. So I'll keep the bottle in this bottom section. Pocket here, where I keep my toothbrush and toothpaste, I can put my salt packets and the budesonide in there. Something else that I've had to learn to adjust to over the past year and a half-ish is traveling when you need oxygen. It can be a nightmare. Depending on how long I'm going to be gone will fully determine how much oxygen I bring and how I bring it. This weekend we're only going to be gone Friday night through Sunday afternoon because we have to drive back home by Sunday night. So instead of bringing my big oxygen concentrator to sleep with at night, I just think it makes more sense to bring a couple large tanks to breathe in while I'm like sleeping. Whenever I'm gone for more than a couple nights, or if I'm sicker, then I will always bring my concentrator with me. But this just is not the time or place where I actually will need it this time. Thank God. When I'm deciding which form of airway clearance I'm going to bring with me on a trip, I think about how much time I'm gonna have every day to do my treatments, who I'm gonna be going with, how sick I am, and how long I'm gonna be gone. More times than not, I'm gonna bring my vest with me and just do my normal airway clearance like I do at home on a normal basis. However, if it's a very short trip and I'm doing pretty good lung-wise, I will opt out of bringing my vest and I'll just bring a handheld airway clearance device like my Acapella or my Arabica, which is what I'm doing this time. But when I do bring my vest, I bring it in its original carrier bag. This is the bag that the vest comes with. It has a compartment on both sides. Oh, look, you can find old nebulizers that I've had in there, and the normal part with a mesh insert. So I put the big machine, I put in this part, and then on one of these sides I would put the hose and the actual wrap vest in the other side. And then in the other side I would put the power outlet cord, and I'll usually put the nebulizers that I'm using, whether if they're standard nebulizers or my portable nebulizer, I'll put that in this pocket too, just so everything stays together. So after my carry-on bag is packed for the weekend, you can see this is how it ended up looking. We have my makeup bag that has my toiletries and my bath products, including my sinus medication in this black makeup bag. In the opposite corner, we have the polka dot makeup bag that has all my pills and any additional medications I may need. I also went ahead and put my inhalers and air chamber in there as well. And then in the middle, I have the case that has my hypertonic saline and my portable nebulizer as well. And I also decided to go ahead and throw in a Acapella to bring as well, just because I feel like it works a little bit better than the Arabica, which I have in this bag. So I brought that along as well. And also a pro tip, if you need to carry around medications with you, or inhalers, or pulse ox machines, but don't want to carry it in your pockets or bring a big bag, a fanny pack is a great idea. It's lightweight, you can keep it around your waist so your hands are free, and you can keep all medications or medical devices you could potentially need while you're out and about. A lot easier to get to, just a lot more simple in my opinion. So that's everything on how I pack and prepare for a weekend long trip, where I'm not going to be gone for too long, but I still need to bring all my medications and airway clearance devices and all different kinds of stuff just to manage my health. Things that I can't go a couple days without for sure. And everyone does everything differently, and what I like to do may not work for other people, but this is just my own, personally just what works best for me on a regular basis. But thanks y'all for watching. I'm gonna have my links below in the description where you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Press subscribe and follow along so you'll be alerted whenever I post a new video. And until next time, good night y'all.